Shut up! I don't know about you, but in 2018, I saw stuff I never thought I would see. The end of the Jerry Springer Show. I thought that crap would live forever. The revival of Roseanne. Pretty awesome. The cancellation of Roseanne. And, of course, this.
Donald Trump has turned the Oval Office into a
countries.
Country. These countries are all countries in Africa are
It said countries. I'm a proud.
Ooh, everyone wants to say bad words on TV. Right, Dana Perino?
Here he is chasing people around with a reptile, even going into the water with it.
Did you ever think you'd hear Dana swear? Me neither. But she's a filthy, filthy little woman. Also, I never thought to see Miss America ditch the swimsuit competition. What's going on? Never thought I'd see Elizabeth Warren's DNA test with barely any Native American DNA. I actually have more Native American blood than her, and my last name is Gutfeld. Yes. How'd that happen? Then there were things you didn't want to see but had to.
He answered that question. So now the gentleman from Maryland.
He answered that question. So now the gentleman from Maryland.
That reminds me of the time I sat on a vibrating nail. But if you had said to me, like 10 years ago, one day the United States president is going to hold a summit with North Korea, I would have laughed so hard, one would have come out my ass. And then you'd go, oh, by the way, that president's going to be Donald Trump. But it happened. They met. They had a nice chat. The media both harumphed and poo-pooed it. But why? No one launched a nuke, right? That's kind of a net gain in my book. And since the meeting, Kim's written some letters to Trump, and Trump says he's in love. It's okay with me. In fact, I think we overlooked who gets the credit for bringing them together. Yes, Dennis Rodman. You know, we tried to get him a Peace Prize with this very campaign.
In 2017, the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons won the Nobel Peace Prize. But this year, that honor should belong to one man and one man only, Dennis Rodman. One look at his impressive resume and you'll understand why. Rodman first showed a knack for international diplomacy in 1997, teaming up with the muscles from Brussels, Jean-Claude Van Damme, for the groundbreaking film Double Team. A year later, he married Carmen Electra, who quickly divorced him because he was too devoted to bringing about world peace. Soon after, he finished his pro career with 11,954 rebounds. For comparison, the 2007 Nobel Prize winner Al Gore had 0 career rebounds. Was he always a dreamer? Was he always a fighter? When people wanted to wear brightly dyed hair in public, Rodman was there. When Celebrity Apprentice needed a boost, Rodman was there. And he didn't quit. When the world needed to solve the problem of North Korea, Rodman was there to save our planet from nuclear annihilation. Dennis Rodman, the clear choice for the 2018 Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, there's always next year, Dennis. So after Trump met with the enemy, he went to Brussels and met with our allies and gave them some tough love. Remember this?
Many countries are not paying what they should. Frankly, many countries owe us a tremendous amount of money for many years back. It's an unfair burden on the United States.
He wasn't wrong. He had the guts to stand up or sit and speak the truth. Hello? Friends, you're not paying your fair share. Ever think you'd see that? We've all been there. You're at dinner with friends having burgers, and the one who gets the surf and turf says, hey, let's split the check 4 ways. So you do, because no one wants to feel rude by saying, no, that's not fair. Not Trump. See, to Trump, it's not rude if it's right. And with NATO, he was right.
In In a world where many countries aren't paying what they should.
Many countries are not paying what they should.
Where many countries owe us a tremendous amount of money for many years back.
Many countries owe us a tremendous amount of money for many years back.
One man had a plan to blow the world away.
He is going to fly into Brussels like a seagull. He is going to defecate all over everything, squawk, and fly away.
When the world tried to pass the buck on the good old US of A, a man with a plan brought a storm of logic.
I think that these countries have to step it up, not over a 10-year period, they have to step it up immediately.
Nude man on a unicorn snowboarding through a ring of fire while flexing presents Donald Trump, Angela Merkel, and Ian Ziering as Steve. Trump NATO, defecating on everything in Brussels like a seagull.
Yes! All right. That's not all. Here's President Trump in the Oval Office with Kanye. Here's Trump with the Queen of England. Never thought I'd see that. Ever think you'd see the Dow hit 25,000? It happened. Well, for a little bit anyway. I don't know where it is now, and I'm not looking. Elon Musk sent his car into space. Sean Penn wrote a lousy novel, which wasn't thrilling. But listening to Lou Dobbs read it was.
Page 94. Silly questions of Cherry's save serve to sever any last impression Bob might have had of Spurley as a serious citizen. Page 125. There is pride to be had where the prejudicial is practiced with precision in the trenchant triage of tactile terminations.
Alliteration is so sexy when it comes from Lou. They changed up my box of animal crackers. John Boehner became an advocate for pot. And we heard a whale that can speak English, supposedly. Here's the trainer telling the whale to say 1, 2. You decide.
1, 2.
You know what that reminds me of?
Animals are great. Animals are great. Animals are great.
You know, some amazing stuff happened in 2018. I'm a little sorry to see the year end. But then again, 2019 could be even more awesome, but not as awesome as this.
He answered that question. So now the gentleman from Maryland.
He answered that question. So now the gentleman from Maryland.
I think I'm gonna miss him. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's so sharp she's not allowed near a waterbed. National security analyst Morgan Ortega. After Bon Jovi, he's the funniest thing to come from New Jersey. Actor and comedian Jim Florentine. Spreading cheer fills her with fear. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. And Old Faithful is his water pick. Former WWE superstar, my massive sidekick, Kick, and host of UnPC on Fox Nation, Iris. All right. So, Morgan, what was your favorite story of the year and why?
I don't know favorite, but I think what goes down in infamy for me is Secretary Tillerson, who is the Secretary of State, getting fired on the
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's like, you gotta go when you're taking a dump. That's bad. Bad. It's bad.
I didn't see that coming from you, Morgan.
I bring the best stuff for you.
You're so nice on the 5, and then you start swearing and bringing up horrible biological habits. They're clapping perversion.
I have a confession.
What?
I find poop humor to be really funny.
Me too.
Really funny.
Me too. I've tried to
And fart
explain that to Fox News for years.
My husband gets mad at me. I think it's very funny.
Yeah, I know. It's what it is. It's the weirdest thing humans do, right? Doo-doo. All right, I should shut up now because I'm starting to make people sick. Jim, what did you find humorous or interesting or exciting about this year?
I love the Bush funeral when Trump, of course, had to show up just to meet the Obamas and just that handshake with Michelle and then Barack, and you know they wanted nothing to do with him. The Clintons wouldn't even look over. Bill kind of looked, and he goes, "No, I better not," because Hillary probably kicked him. So don't even look over there.
Yeah, I also liked. You know what I liked about that too? A lot of people didn't notice it. Dick Cheney in the back. So you're watching Trump, and then you watch it going, and you can just see Dick Cheney going like this. What's gonna? He's just got that smile, like this is gonna be great. Or maybe he was just napping. It's hard to tell with him sometimes. He's always comfortable. I'm going to shut up now. Cats, what a year. Any thoughts about what you thought was extra special or unusual?
It was all unusual. I mean, I remember watching that Trump-Kanye meeting with just, I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. And then knowing that that was after he had already had a meeting with a Kardashian.
Yes.
It's just like, but it worked. Like, we actually got somebody freed from prison that I didn't think should be there. So that was probably like one of my favorite moments. You know, I might not love the Kardashians.
Yes.
But big year for me.
What happened?
I turned 30.
Oh, wow, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, and my dad, when he called me, he didn't wish me happy birthday. He was just like, congratulations. I can't believe you did it.
Yeah. Say it's 30. I hear 30 is like the new 35.
If you're a woman, yes.
Yes. Better settle down soon, Kat.
I don't see that happening, Greg.
All right, well, that's a downer.
Unless you mean with a lizard farm.
You and your lizards.
Yeah.
All right. Tyrus, what did you see special about this year?
You know what? I enjoyed a lot of the anchors' reactions and stuff. The world ended like 400 times. We kicked out every time. Like, I think Don Lemon was probably my favorite person to watch. His facial expressions, that's it, it's over, life as we know it. It's done. Oxygen's cut off at 6 a.m. Water is depleted. Like, I just enjoyed Morning Joe falling apart. Like, I didn't have to watch the actual shows because that would have been sick. But, and I'm not sick in the sense like they're not newsworthy. Well, it's just they're so upset, and it's kind of like when and I've been mean before, and like you're winning an argument, and you see the person you're arguing with getting upset, and you're like, "Oh, you gonna cry? You gonna cry?" You know what I'm saying? And you want them to cry.
Yes.
You need them to cry. And with Don Lemon, and I didn't have to say you gonna cry. I just wait. Like, this is great. He's gonna cry. Oh my God, he's gonna cry. He's gonna cry over something that literally doesn't affect him at all.
No.
Like, it just kills me how much the president of the United States affected everyone's daily life so not much, but they really, really, really acted like you can smell the fire.
Yes.
Because literally Satan's coming behind him. Like, this is our last broadcast, Armageddon as we know it. It's like, and then tune in tomorrow.
You know, what you're saying is that's what I had. I had the contrast between the media reaction and the lack of impact on your life.
Yeah.
Like your daily life, everything is kind of pretty good, but the media is acting like it's Armageddon, and it's constant. And I will say Trump has responsibility for this because he packed 7 years of news into 1 year. He's the dog year president, right? 7 years into every one, and so it feels like there's a lot going, but your life is fine. Your life is fine. It's just that everybody that's reporting it is having mental breakdowns. I love it.
If you still have cable,
yes,
to watch cable complain, you're okay.
Yeah.